Welcome, everybody, one more time to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting edge conversation while exploring the quantum, the massive quantum possibility. And we're doing it again tonight with a really special friend. I just met Ken recently over on the Conscious Awakening Network and have been so impacted by his work just as a bystander, and then impacted by what transpired during the show, that we had to bring him over so you could get to know him and all the amazing things that happen in Ken's presence. Augie's going to tell you about him, but in the meantime, as always, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. If you have not subscribed to the station, please do that. Where there are algorithms and things like that. And the more people that we have, the better availability that we have to bring in bigger and better guests, just like Ken tonight. We're so excited. Thank you for your super chats. And if you'd like to join us on Sunday for the Mastermind Connection, where we get together in a spiritual think tank, meet in the quantum realm, and create the new world, accelerate, if you will, the ascension process with our love and with our visualization and with our light. If you'd like to join us, send an email to themastermindconnection@gmail.com. We'll send you the link, 2 p.m. Sunday Eastern. Come see if you like it. If you do, I have a feeling we'll be seeing you every Sunday. So, Augie, please tell our audience about Ken.
Yes. Oh, I've been looking forward to this one because we have Ken Lloyd with us. And I do want to say a few things about him. And that is that he is a multi-dimensional traveler, an energetic psychic healer, light language channeler, a master activator, and a galactic liaison, a quantum blueprint technicians. Wow. I mean, I don't even know half of those words. So I love this because I am going to learn something in this hour. And he is also a soul walking from higher realms. His specialty is actually providing physical relief and healing in the body for people, removing energies that hold us back in relationships, financial and personal growth paths, and other areas. And he can also help to rewrite our soul contract. I think some of you might have thought about that once in a while. Why did I agree to this? Well, there's always a remedy, and you're going to hear more about this because I'm going to ask. And he also can help people to get introduced to their galactic family. And we all have some of those. Most of us don't even know it. And in the second half of the show, folks, this you want to be part of. You want to wait for this. In the second half of the show, he's going to do a meditation and a transformational healing for everyone that listens. Going to be part of that. I don't care if you have a sore toe or a stage 8 pancreatic cancer. Come and listen, because this is going to be good. And for those you young people out there that are 10 foot tall and bulletproof, you don't really care much, but you have parents. Go grab them, get them in front of theirs, and have them listen. They're going to love you for it. So welcome to the show, Ken.
Well, thank you. I want to make a real quick comment. Those people that are 10 foot tall and bulletproof should absolutely listen. And the reasoning is because the healing doesn't just happen on the physical level. All right. It happens at the soul level. All right. And when we remove those lower energies or those blockages, you get the access that we've all been waiting for over and over and over. So those people who are healthy, stay. There's something in there for you. I will say that the labels from the master activator and those things, they're just labels. And I encourage everyone not to get hung up on the labels. I have a lot of gifts and a lot of things that I will bring to everybody. Some of them will be delivered tonight. All right. And they just happen. Let me back up just a moment. Hello, everyone. My name is Ken Lloyd. I'm a soul braid infusion. And what that means is that a near-death experience back in 2018, and I don't have a story. I didn't go over. Nothing took place. No miraculous healing. No life review. I had about 2 minutes where I had been locked in position. Just prior to that, I was just talking to my deceased relatives. I want everyone to realize that I had no spirituality. I had no religion. I had no background. This just started. And just to cut the story short, what happened immediately after the near-death experience is the deceased relatives stopped talking to me. And that was interesting. I chased it. And I spent 2 years reading this, reading that, psychic this, psychic that. I found out during that process that I could see energies and I could feel energies. I could move energies around. And through the process of, Reiki attunement, right? I opened up some energy channels and I took a couple energy healing courses, but everything has morphed into something incredibly unique. I don't have a modality. I don't follow anyone else's practice. I just allow the things to come in. So I have 14 consciousnesses, soul aspects in me. They're all me, including my higher self that stepped into my body on 12/12 just passed. That was interesting. I was locked in my chair for 15 minutes. I couldn't move my body. And as I started asking questions, they stopped me and I couldn't actually think for a good 11 or 12 minutes. Can you imagine not having a thought for 11 or 12 minutes and just feeling everything moving in the body, being able to realize what's happening, but they're like, no, you can't ask questions right now. We're a little busy. And then on December 31st, just 3 or 4 weeks ago, all of them were merged into one consciousness. And that's what's presenting here tonight. My voice doesn't have to change as I have a skill that needs to come forward. That aspect of me that has that talent will come front and center and do the work. When I do this transformational healing later, there's a different aspect of me that's actually doing that, even though everything looks the same and sounds the same. Each one of them do bring a skill set to the table. I don't know what they're all doing just yet, right? I'm still in an integration process, even 6 years later. When the event happened, they began modifying my body about 2 years later. I think it was in December of 2020. I started to get tingles in my body. And, like the arm falling asleep, numbness, tingles, but on the skin. So the stiller, the quieter that I lay, the more I could feel it. And it was and is still amazing. It is something you absolutely want to have happen. So fast forward after the event a few weeks ago, the intensity of this has, 2 or 3 times full. My face is literally numb most of the time. I can feel pinpricks all over it. I can see the muscles in the body moving, hands, arms, chest, legs, all of it. Now, let me explain what's happening here. My body has been modified. The DNA, the cellular structure, my energy fields, the light bodies have all been altered. They have created a field around me, an energetic field that right now is 102 feet. Nori, when we talked last week, it was 89 feet. It continues to expand. By the end of March, it's 300 feet. And December of next year, it's 1 kilometer wide. Now, why is this important? What this basically means is that as you enter my field physically, or right now virtually, which is what everyone should be feeling right now, a little something coming over them, they're going to feel their emotions changing. They're going to feel a little bit like, okay, there's something going on here. That is the field reaching out to them to do the healing. The healing happens even without meditations. It happens just by being around me. And to be clear, you have to be ready for it. Right? If you're in the grocery store line, you may or may not get it, depending on what kind of mood you're in. I'm being a little funny with the mood thing, but when we're ready to have the healing happen, it'll happen. The field around me has many purposes. The healing. When we talk about going back to the description of the tasks and talents I have, we talk about that blueprint or technician piece, right?
Mhm.
So think programming. Over the past 4 years, as I worked on individuals, the universe would send groups of people my way with similar situations. You know, as I love talking about the shoulder, so similar shoulder issues or similar knee issues and so on and so forth. And what was happening is as I worked on them in a manual way, moving things around, you know, in the mind's eye, what was going on in the background is I was creating codes, programming codes, quantum codes. This is basically the healing frequencies, the codes for that particular ailment for the human. So even when we get information coming down, we, meaning just general energy workers, comes down and comes out, all right, it still has a translation process, so it works on the human body. My field stores that code I created, just like a hard drive. Okay. So when somebody comes into my field, again, virtually, on replay, whatever, and they have that condition, they will receive that code that's already there. The majority of energy healers, or the majority of all of us channelers, as an example, again, the information will come in and flow out and they deliver. That's not what happens with me. The energy comes in and it stays. It stays in my field permanently. So it's always available for whoever may need it. There's other things too, but I'm going to pause for a moment and see if you guys have any questions before I just keep rambling on.
Oh,
Nori,
Lori, your audio was out. Yeah, you'll fix it. There she is.
Yeah. In the chat room, somebody was asking if you are a remote viewer.
I have almost every checkbox. I don't practice remote viewing. I don't have a need to view a specific thing at a specific time to record or document. And I actually won't remote view. It's one of those skill sets that kind of put you on the radar a little more than you need to be. But yes, I as far as I know, I haven't had a client or situation that hasn't had results, phenomenal results often. So yes, I can, but I won't with remote viewing.
Yeah, and it's so interesting the way that that it unfolds, and I understand it's different every time because I got to spend an hour and a half with you the other night, and the light language just comes through, and you're talking to people, and it's interesting because I can see you're not really here when you're there. And you're talking to people in the Akashic records and removing Akashic records and rebuilding, and it's just amazing how that all works for you.
Let me elaborate a little bit on the concept of the Akashic records. Okay, there's more than just the Akashic records. All right, the Akashic records is a fraction of what's really available. Okay, and it tells a story, tells most of us a story of a thing, of a question that we ask, but it's not modifiable. You don't go in there and change it, you just read it. There's something called the Hall of Records by a beautiful woman named Patricia Elks Wall. Anyways, you can find her. Anyway, she does the Hall of Records, very good friend of mine. And the Hall of Records is modifiable. You can go in there and you can remove those contracts as an individual. Now, there's something else, and that's what I have. It's called, there's not quite a name for it yet. It just happened 3 weeks ago. I knew about it for a year and a half, but it actually was installed in my field around me just over 3 weeks ago. And it's called the Living Library. The Living Library is a record of everything that has ever existed across all time, dimensions, realities, and forms and states. Modifiable. And that's accessible in my field. So this is coming online for the world. My healing has always been advanced. Every month, they'll show me something new or a new way to do things. And since this library has been installed in me, all of my healing is shifting into this new technology in this living library. So again, they keep notching it up. The living library is going to be important for everyone. It allows, when it's available to others, it will allow anybody who has that conscious connection and is of the right energy frequency to utilize my gifts on their clients. If they so choose, they can go in there, modify the records, and the healing will take place. But because it's in my field, it's using those codes that are in my field to deliver the healing. So yeah, I'm a little bit different than anything you read, and even on the website, it's like, how do you talk about those things? How do you articulate things when they're changing so rapidly with me? So again, Akashic Records, Hall of Records, and now something called the Living Library, which is everything.
So by going into the living library, it may be the one way then to kind of rewrite a soul contract.
Great question. So as I mentioned a moment ago, they keep shifting the way I do my work. When I first started, it would take me an entire hour to relieve somebody's discomfort in their back. Like, oh, you got a daddy issue on this side, you got an emotion trapped here, and so on and so forth. And now it takes 15 seconds. All right. When the healing didn't happen, I would have to go talk to your guides. And they'd have a little checkbox. Yes, you're good. You've had the experience. Move on, or they would refuse. Those that's rewriting your soul contract, getting permission to do that. That no longer takes place in a manual sense. The light language with my team makes those arrangements before the session even happens, so that if it is an experience that you're done with, when you signed up for, you're done with, they're going to allow the healing to happen, or they're going to tell us, hey, you're not quite ready yet. But all those conversations happen before we're on the call itself.
Yeah. And I just got another question that I saw on your website, and you can help people to get introduced to their galactic family.
Yeah. Let me explain that. So, there are a lot more ET races than the ones that are typically in our mainstream. And I don't mean the news, I mean mainstream galactic words, Arcturians, Armadians, Andromedans, Palladians, so on and so forth. There are thousands and thousands more, but they don't necessarily have access to those ones that they need here. So with the way I am configured, I'm a channel through the Galactic Federation to everything out there. So they will make arrangements through me to meet that person, and I will introduce them and get the two to have a conversation telepathically, and then they're off and running. But let me be clear. I won't tell you the species name, and I won't tell you the name of, that particular ET. I don't find it that relevant. Now, I know that's going to shock a lot of people, right? I'm a firm believer that we're part of everything. We've been most species in one way or another. And when we hang our hat on a particular ET species, it's fine and standing, it's wonderful, but you can't stay there. You got to explore and expand and reach those other aspects of you that are just beyond the other layer that's out there. And that's where I come in. So yeah, I don't hang my hat on certain names or anything like that. And I know that's going to be a little bit of a shocker for folks.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, actually, in some ways, because many of the extraterrestrials of higher consciousness don't use names. Yeah. They are telepathic. They visualize the one they want to talk to, and bingo, they're connected.
Yeah. They're telling me to make one clarification. The starseeds that are here that know they're actually from a particular ET race, they're supposed to be from that race, and they do identify and represent beautifully. But for the others of us that are like, man, where am I from? I'm a little bit of that. Those are the ones that shouldn't hang their hat on a particular species or ET race. And the other thing is don't get caught up in the story. Too often we'll go to have a reading done and they'll tell us about this past life where we did this horrible thing or this horrible thing happened to you. Well, what about the rest of that life? That was amazing and beautiful and exciting, and all these other things happened, right? We totally skip over that and we focus on why I wouldn't have done that. Why would I have done that thing? Don't get hung up in the story. allow it to flow through you. So just a little lesson.
Love that. Thank you.
Mhm.
One of Timothy in the chat room said, Ken, would you review the accelerated ascension symptoms with your activations? I've been experiencing intense symptoms after watching your recent work, and it's been challenging, to say the least.
Yeah, so I actually have a transformational healing protocol. All right. So when you sign up for my events, there's one this Thursday. When it's done, you'll get an email that says, hey, these are the things you should do and the things you shouldn't do. I am moving massive amounts of energy in your body, in your field around you, which translates into the body. And it's uncomfortable. You know, people think that healing is good, and it is good, but they think it's going to be, oh, done. Nora, you're the exception, by the way. All right. You didn't have that traumatic shifting through the body, but other people are. They have a lot of stuff in there, and they will find themselves in emotional distress. They'll find themselves in tears, wondering, why am I crying? And part of the healing is to allow that to happen. That is the energy purging, but in the physical way. They will find the energy shifting from one part of the body to another part of the body as it's looking for a way out as well. The insomnia can happen. The sleeping too much can happen. All these things are part of the transformational healing. The symptoms will go on for 7 days for some folks while they go through these massive shifts in their energy field. So yes, this is why you're feeling like you are shifting. And you can reach out to me, and I will post the transformational healing protocol. It's on my website, but it's kind of not quite available. When I put it up there, I hadn't realized all the replays, and those folks didn't have access to that protocol. So.
Just looking really quick to see. A couple people are asking for some healing. That healing could happen during the meditation, or how would you?
Yeah. So I want to set some expectations, but yeah, I want to remove some expectations. You know, often when we want a healing done, we say, my shoulder hurts. And you'll show up to protect the practitioner or in this event or here just in a few minutes. And you'll be like, well, I'm here for my shoulder. And you'll get done. You'll be like, man, my shoulder still hurts. Well, that's because there were other things that needed to be addressed first. And spirit, the universe is going to deal with those more important things to get them out of the way so the healing can occur. I encourage everyone to set an expectation, but also be aware there's more happening than just that one thing that we can consciously or cognitively recognize as an issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the healing actually works on the whole body, not just one small part.
It works everywhere. That is correct. Now, when you do a one-on-one session with me, I will go in there and I will, if I'm working on your back, I'll have you stand up. And it'll be gone within moments, and I'll validate and verify, hey, you're able to move now. Do you have the pain? Do you have the discomfort, right? Those one-on-one sessions, I will pinpoint and focus on the things that need to be healed. But that's impossible in a group. You know, when you're working on hundreds or thousands of people, you just allow spirit to do the very thing it does. And I'm just the channel. I'm just the vessel. They're in me, but I'm just the vessel for all of that to take place. That is correct.
And, Linda asked earlier, and I'm going to paraphrase, did all of this come online for you during the NDE, or did it enhance what you already had?
I had nothing before the NDE, and I didn't recognize I had anything for 2 years later. Wow. And everything has, I don't want to use the word trickled in. Just imagine, you have 1 penny and you double your efforts. Now you have 2 pennies. It's how they work, at least for me. And then the next time you get an upgrade, it's 4 pennies. If you can imagine that concept of compounding what's happening. I continue to be modified and upgraded, whatever word is fancy enough to use here. But this is going to go on my entire life. And I have gifts coming online that all I say is just stay tuned, follow these shows, follow me, and when they come online, they will be shown to everybody so they can actually process with their own eyes what's taking place. Let me just state this. We talk about the accelerated ascension, right? And that's the podcast I have. But more importantly, let's talk about that phrase. The ascension process has been slow. It has been slow. We've all done a lot of work, and we keep waiting and waiting for, when is this thing going to happen, right? When is a new Earth arriving? When is the political thing doing the political thing, and so on and so forth. 2024 is done, meaning that this slow process is over. I'm coming online, and so is another 1,500 or so of other very, very interesting folks to accelerate the ascension in a very, very rapid way. There are going to be new tools coming online as like the living library, and these tools are going to be accessible in the world, so we can all take a more personal approach to what's happening. We used to spend a lot of time trying to figure out, okay, what past life is causing this thing? Why do I feel the way I do? What did I do in that past life? And we would go to those very incredibly talented people, but we would get information. And we're like, well, oh my gosh, what do I do about it? Well, I have to sit down and feel through it and think through it and, all this. Well, no, I'll remove them in seconds. And this is what's going to be taking place for everybody, not just me, but the work. All these tools are going to come online. It's going to pop you right through the process you need to do so you can actually get to the meat and potatoes of the work, the fun stuff. So get ready, everyone. It's not me. There's the thousands of sorts of more coming online.
So exciting. So
I know. Yeah.
Go ahead, Obi. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You have a tremendous track record of effectiveness when it comes to healing the physical body. What about if there is mental or attachments of other entities or negative programming in the mind that holds you back and obstruct you from advancing like you should? How would that work?
So I can access the subconscious and reprogram the subconscious. I can pull the programs out of the subconscious. But on a note, behavior is behavior. So you're not going to change your behavior, even though we've changed the subconsciousness and we've changed the entity or the attachment or the thing and the energetic piece. You still have to take personal ownership and stop doing the very thing. Okay, so just on the behavior piece. When it comes to mental conditions, when it is involving, soul aspects, soul fragments, other pieces of us, yeah, absolutely, I can pull them out or merge them together and be complete. I can see all of that. I can see the ones that are good, and I can see the ones that aren't so friendly, and I can deal with all of those. The process gets easier and easier as we move through, and the physical stuff is always a combination of other energies that either you were carrying with you from past lives, ancestral, childhood trauma. Let's talk about that for a moment. How many of us has actually dived into childhood trauma? We're like, I really don't want to go there. I don't want to relive that thing. I don't want to remember it. Something happened. I don't know what it is. Well, you don't have to anymore. From the childhood trauma, the angels will come in and they'll lift that energy out of you 10 seconds flat. And they do it all day long. The same thing with the ancestrals and the past lives. So all of this is rapidly approaching. Now, even with the childhood trauma, when I do the transformational healing, that's part of that event as well. The angels come in. Yeshua also typically comes in as well. But there's no memory. You don't have to know what happened. And I'm not going to go in the story to relive it with you. We're going in there. We're doing the work. And this is why you feel those heavy shifts from that other remember the other question, right? This is heavy work. And it's rapid. So, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Oh, we are at the bottom of the hour right now. And for those of you that joined us late, we are talking with Ken Lloyd. He's a healer, phenomenal track record of effectiveness of healing. And he is going to show us a little bit about how he does things. And he promised to do a meditation. And in that meditation, for everybody out there that is listening and watching right now, stay tuned and participate in it. And you may also have a healing because he's going to do it to everybody and for everybody that is listening. And I think I said that right, hopefully.
Yeah. No, are we ready? Because I'm ready to do this.
I would love it.
Yeah.
So here's the one thing I asked from your audience. If you have an experience, share it in the chat room. You felt this happened or that happened. Doesn't have to be long. Just share that. This will help others recognize that they're not alone in what's about to take place. The other thing is you can't get this wrong. There is literally nothing you can do to mess this up if you're worried. As I say, you're literally going to follow the bouncing ball and then you're going to let go. Wherever your mind takes you, go with it. Wherever you go, just go with it. Everyone just kind of close your eyes and take a breath, and I'm going to walk you through this. Please visualize tree roots growing from the bottom of your heart down your torso, down each of your legs. Further down, further down. Allow them to exit your feet into Mother Earth. She's waiting. Grow those tree roots down further and further and further. You will then see the center of the earth. Take those tree roots and wrap them counterclockwise 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Please visualize the pink light from the Sirius star system. It's coming down through your crown, top of the head, and bring it down and anchor it into the top of the heart. As you do that, a little brighter, a little stronger, a little thicker with love. Please visualize the white light from the Octana star system. Comes down through the crown, top of the head. Anchors right next to the pink light. Grow the white light a little brighter, a little thicker with love. Please visualize a red energy, a red light, if you will, coming down from the top of your crown, above your crown, all the way down the center of your body, all the way down into the ground. Connected to the top, connected below. As you look at this beautiful, soft, red energy, you're going to begin seeing orbs coming around, coming down. And as these orbs begin filling, they're swirling counterclockwise. The red light gets wider and wider and wider and is now covering your entire body. These orbs are now moving through the body. And as you think about those places in the body that need to be touched, loved, healed, allow those orbs with their own consciousness, their own energy, to gently move over to those areas, move around those areas. For those of us who have conditions that aren't in a location, but in the body in general, in the DNA, genetics, genome, blood, nerves, so on and so forth, to set the intention, those orbs, address that a little faster, a little more swirling. Lots of excitement here. As we look at the red light begins to shift into a beautiful soft orange. The orbs themselves also begin to glow that soft orange, taking on a new frequency, a new energy, Korea dia tare katare kato shutorio pukuto shiti ni tare dia alia di shiti katorio shoria. Feel it. Feel it flowing through you. Shikatia ni tare katiko poshuto. Now, as we look at it, we're going to begin seeing that orange energy shift into a beautiful baby blue with white. Very, very, very soft angelic tones. Shirikatarikatisha, those orbs still swirling around, still moving through all of your body. You can't get this wrong. You're perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. Please visualize a white diamond plasma coming from a place beyond source, and it travels through source. It comes down through your crown, and it accesses and enters the top of your spine in your cranium. And this happens. It has the consistency of a beautiful wet paint, and it pours down the top of your spine. Very easy. It's moving down, just past your shoulders. Past the shoulder blades. Further down, moving into the lower arch of your back. It's coating the entire spine. Down by your waistline. And now it's entering your tailbone. As you look at your tailbone, it begins to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And as you look at that, you'll see white tree roots growing from the bottom of the tailbone. Allow those tree roots to again grow down each of your legs. Past the knees, past the ankles, and in Mother Earth. Further down, further down, and again, wrap them counterclockwise 3 times around the core of the earth. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful and perfect. Inside of your heart, you'll notice a small bubble. In a moment, we're going to take a breath in and then a breath out. When we do the breath out, I want you to visualize that bubble instantly expanding 6 feet all around you, and you're in that bubble. Breathe in. Breathe out. Expand that bubble, and now you're inside. Please see the green tunnel of light. On the one end of that tunnel is a red rose. It's your heart. Open that red rose, please. As wide as you can. As blossom as blooming as you can. On the other end of that green tunnel is a 1,000-petal white lotus with a beautiful yellow center. That is my heart. Open. And as you look at that 1,000-petal white lotus, you'll begin seeing little pink hearts jumping out of them in mass, in volume, in excitement. And you'll see them bouncing down that green tunnel and bouncing into your heart. For the next moment, I want you to do nothing else but watch your heart absorb those pink hearts. Stay tuned, relax. Please hold. The energies are being delivered. Just keep watching those beautiful pink hearts. Shuktianyatya. Amyanyanyanyanyanshinigadaditukupu. Shayati shuto. So we deliver. Ayata aryata aryata asitikutu shupukutu. Alyanyata ama. Almost done. Almost done. Oh, you're almost done. It's taking a little bit longer for you. Okay, we're done. As you feel called to it, you can come out of that.
And he cranked up the
Wow.
temperature.
And for all of you out there that did not understand all that, that was light language.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. The whole idea is to not understand it, right? And to allow it to flow. Now, we had a request, right? The request was if you had an experience of any kind to put it in the chat window. And I'm curious, did you have anyone talking?
Let's see. Anybody? Crown chakra, milk and honey.
I'll take it.
Crown chakra, milk and honey. Beautiful. Anybody else, please put your experience in the chat room. For me, I got very hot at the end when the light language was accelerated. But along the way, once again, I could feel the hearts, expanding, but in a beautiful, not in a wrenching in kind of physical way, but in like an effervescent light. I felt like my upper body was just getting lighter and bigger, and it was beautiful. It was just lovely. Thank you.
So here's the behind the scenes. That visualization is a distraction. It's designed to get you out of the body, out of the head, out of the mind, and to allow them to flow through. And you'll notice I didn't mention a particular activation of this or that, right? I didn't mention the energy of 3-3 or 8-8 or, none of these things. In fact, you'll notice I didn't mention any ET species. I didn't mention any races, none of that. Because we're to a point now, it's just frequency. You're going to get exactly what you need without having to align yourself with a particular day or time or aspect. Now, all those things are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. This is not to downplay all the amazing things. Everything is beautiful. But there's a shift coming, and you just experience that shift. So yes, I hope that made sense.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
Are there healing messages inside of the light language also? Or do you know?
There are a lot. There are messages for every single one of us. All right. They are working with us. And those that are connected, when I say connected, they have that connection. They will receive messages. They will meet interesting figures. I've had people meet their guides while they're in those meditations, right? And other teachers that will come through for them. They get exactly what's been waiting for them. This literally is an opportunity for everything out there that's waiting for you to come through. Consider me like a bridge. When you have those high frequencies out there, those high energies, those high entities, and I mean that in a very positive, loving, energetic way. And then we have the human. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to raise our frequency up from the 3D to the 5D. And they're trying to get further down so they can say hello and do that handshake, right? This here is that bridge between the two. And once that bridge is made, there's a connection, and then they will continue. I do want to make one more comment about this field that's around me that I didn't allude to earlier. When you find yourself in my presence, your frequency will raise from your 3D to your 5D ascension frequency, your harmonics. All right. You spend an hour with me, you will feel very, very different. But it doesn't always last. When we raise your frequency up like that, the healing can occur. But if we haven't done the work, your frequency will go back down again, down again. So I do these every 2 weeks so that you can maintain those high frequencies while you continue to do the work on yourself. So this is what, so those of you out there that are wondering why you're feeling like you are, we just raised you to your ascension frequency, or they're telling me a portion of it, not the full effect. But yes, absolutely. This is what it feels like.
Beautiful. Jennifer said she had tingling all over her body. Timothy said, I had an intense migraine during, and it subsided, and I'm feeling less physical pain. Andromedan said, it's gibberish to me. And if we try to interpret it with our mind, of course, it is gibberish, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to know. It's literally even for me, if I'm doing light language in a one-on-one session, I kind of know what they're saying to the person, right? But when I'm doing the light language for the group, no, absolutely not. And when someone's doing light language to me, I may or may not in fear. And I have to actually listen with the heart, right?
Yeah.
And that's a little different because the frequencies change and the heart may not be attuned at the level that allows me to cognitively embrace the message. But you're not supposed to. You're supposed to let it flow. It is literally the universe talking to the universe inside you.
Exactly. Maria says, a truth truly. This being is glowing. We are gratefully gratitude.
Don't know what that was, but that was for her and her team.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for liking my glasses. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So when we haven't done a healing like we did the other night, where I was wrapped, because you were talking to many, and you were like, oh, okay, the hall of records, yes, would you please get that, and oh, there's that in there, please destroy that. And I mean, it was just it was like being in the operating room on the cosmic level. It was amazing.
Everything's incredibly visual for me. I have all the clairs except taste, and I'm very happy about that. And even the smells, not so much, but I'm very, very visual with everything happening. And I do have the ability to, and it may sound crazy, but they're here for me to help you. And they're doing the thing they've got to do. I can tell them, do this or do that, or I can sit back and watch them do it. They're a little slower. but they get the job done a little more thoroughly. And I'm like, listen, we've only got a few minutes. I'm just going to just do this and this. And you will find, especially when it comes to ancestral or past life stuff, right? It's done. It's gone that quick.
Beautiful.
Now, I don't know the answer to this, but do you also do seminars and workshops where you teach this to people?
Well, let me two-part question. I'm going to be in Sarasota, Florida, in person, February 11th through the 13th at the Sarasota Cosmic Center. If you go to my website, kenlloydofficial.com, go to events, you will see where you can sign up for the transformational healing. You will see the podcast I do. And by the way, I do these free healings in my podcast as well. And we talk about the tools for Ascension. And then finally, you'll see the Cosmic Center information for the events. Now, the second part of your question is, will I be teaching this? Absolutely, but not just yet. And what I mean by that is all of the codes that have been created that are stored in me are now in this living library. I just got the keys to the car. So once I realize how to operate it metaphorically, it'll then be opened up to the world. And there'll be teachers and trainers and practitioners that will access. This is the first time it's been made available to my knowledge ever. So everything's coming in. You know why we talk about those words, first time, made available, ever. That sounds big and it almost sounds egoic. Please recognize that I'm not the only person bringing in some amazing things. And there's no ego here. There just aren't words to describe what I see. So with respect, I know there's always the people there, well, he used those words. It's not like that. Honestly, truly isn't. So.
Love that. I love that. And so how does that, I mean, it caught my eye because it's right on my birthday. And I was like, oh, I want to go to that. What happens during those 3 days or 2 days?
So it's I do a lecture for the first when I get there I do a lecture, and the Sarasota is interesting in the fact that they've been cultivating me for the last year. I've been under the radar. I kid you not, intentionally under the radar, and doing events in Sarasota every couple months to learn how to work on the groups, which is where I'm supposed to be. My individual sessions will eventually go away, except for those very rare few. They have me in front of thousands and thousands of people at a time. So that's really where they need me to focus. Now, in the Sarasota, I'll do the lecture, I'll channel, I will grab people out of the crowd and heal them on the spot. And then I'll give them the same thing we just did here. It's different every time, of course. And then, I'll have a day or two for any private sessions. And then I come back on the last day and do the in-person transformational healing. And even with that, I will then go around to the crowd. Depending, listen, there's a couple hundred people there. I'm not doing it to everyone, but I will literally go around to the crowd and that one, that one, that one, and work on them. And I got to tell you, some really cool things happen because if, again, I use the shoulder because I like it, but if I'm working on a person's shoulder in the room, anybody who has that condition is also raising their hand. It just worked on me. I'm finding that when I work on a person, I have people around me raising their hand, like my arthritis just went away as you were working on that guy's back. So just being in the presence is making this happen. So yeah, under the radar for the past year. Now that the merge has taken place, game on.
And the way that it happened for me, and I had no idea this was going to happen. I was co-hosting over at Conscious Awakening Network, and Ken was on, and I had the worst pain in my shoulder, which I've had for years from an accident. And Ken said, and somebody with their shoulder, and all of a sudden, I was like, Pixie concurs. It was gone, and it has not come back. And this has been more than a week now. So, yep. I mean, just being in his presence truly made a difference for me. And I'm hoping there's a part of me that knows that some other things that requires testing to validate that what I think is gone has to happen. But I can't wait now to have the testing. I used to fear the testing, and now I can't wait because I'm going to tell you that there's no evidence of, disease. Yeah.
NED, no evidence of disease. And I get that a lot because we can't use certain words, right? We can't use certain words, so in evidence of disease. But, I have, they show me how to go into your genetics, your genome, and your chromosomes, and how to manipulate and modify those. I've had people with lifelong allergies. And I've gone in and adjusted the chromosomes and the genetics, and gone, right? Gone. Amazing. The list is exhaustive, and I won't go through conditions and series and symptoms and all that. I won't do that. All right. It's like you can't see my shoulder, but I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. At the end of the day, I'm just here to move energies, and those energies get moved in a very real, impactful, rapid way. And again, as I say, everyone has a journey. And for you, Nora, your healing was instant. It happens all the time. But then there are the ones where it's there, it's healed, comes back tomorrow, or it's good for a week or a month. This is simply layers, right? So you're going to feel it. You're going to have the experience. But, oh, man, that was just temporary. Well, it wasn't temporary. You need to do some more work. And you can either do the work through a practitioner of your choice, or you can learn to do the work for yourself. The goal here, the overarching goal of the universe is for us to do our own work. All right. Right now, we are putting the power, and this is interesting. I'm saying they're telling me to say this as I'm saying this, but we're letting our power go by putting it into the hands of practitioners. Yes, including myself. Okay. The universe is going to be giving you the tools in 2024 and beyond to take your own control and your own power back. Get ready for it. It's going to be an exciting year, and depending on what news you're listening to, don't watch the news. It's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, that's why we need people like you Because
Yeah.
when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But when the student is really ready, this teacher disappears.
Yeah. And I don't consider myself. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you don't need him anymore.
Yeah. And I'm here so you don't need me. I'm not here for followers. I'm not here to teach you. I will not teach you a modality. That is not the game. You will get what you need, and then if you need to learn something when it becomes available, you'll get access, and we'll give you a starter handbook, and you'll be off and running. The universe will do this with you and for you.
I love it. I have one quick question, and then I just want for you to tell everybody how to reach you. When you're working, are you seeing, or do you have scenes running through, or what is it for you?
When I'm doing the group stuff like we just did, nothing. In fact, I don't even feel energies often. I had my near-death experience. It was a 2-minute event. They pulled out my root chakra. And when they did that, they removed all trauma in my life and my previous lives up until that very moment in my life. So I just had a little bit of work to do. I cheated. Sorry, but they cheated. And because I don't feel the energies, I'm able to have the body modification with the intensity of the frequencies without impacting me mentally. Okay. So group healing, I don't see any of it. Now, when I tell you guys to watch those pink hearts, and I do that strong light language, and I tell everyone to hold, then I'm watching. And I'm watching all the energy swirl around everybody. And I'm waiting for them to be done with their stuff. And when they all lift up and leave, that's when I can tell everyone to come out. When I'm in a one-on-one session, I see it all. I see it all, and I talk to it all. I can do telepathy with whatever shows up. So yeah, I see it all. Yeah, it's all there.
Beautiful. Please tell everybody how to reach you one more time before we go.
Sure. Most of my information is on kenlloydofficial.com. All right. That's where you can find all my social media links at the bottom of the page, my events. The website itself is going to tell you a story, but that is all shifted in the past 60 days. And so there'll be some new content coming up to help explain what's this new evolution of this body and the souls in me. But yeah, kenlloydofficial.com. And I got to tell you, stay tuned. Sign up for the newsletter. I'll send you everything I've got as I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Augie, you want to ask your famous question before we close?
Oh, yes. You're going to love this one, Ken. If you could talk to the whole world and the world was listening, what would you tell them?
It is so much better than you think. The chaos that you see right now is temporary. There is a changing of the guard, and we do not mean that in a military sense. There's a changing of what's coming for you, a shifting from your evolution of the slow process to the rapid evolution of the human. And with this comes chaos, it comes disturbance, it comes with disruption. And the other end of this is the beauty, is the smoothness, is the calm lake. While these are all metaphors, please recognize it is not what you think it is in the world. It is so much more beautiful. You could go inside yourself. Stop going outside. Everything you need is already there. It's not with your eyes, it's with your heart. That's the message they have for you. Everyone out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I see all of the comments. You're welcome. We'll have Ken on again in the not too distant future. I mean, just the best ever. And we'll see you again here next Tuesday. Don't forget, Sunday night is the Paranormal Show with Augie. And don't forget to check out Ken's podcast also. So until next time, everybody, much love and take good care of each other. See you later.